across the way over here, there's a part of the creek that's got a bunch of this viney maple. Nice and long. And when you dig it in, you can bend it over like a dome. So that's what I'm going to use for a dome shelter. Yeah, I just got to collect a few more poles and be ready to tear up everything out from right here so I can build a good shelter. As I'm taking the shelter apart, I went ahead and I'm stacking these skunk cabbage leaves from their size, you know, big, medium, small. It'll help later when I'm shingling it, in my opinion. Put the same size on every level, you know. Got all my skunk cabbage leaves all piled up, and I got that all cleared out so I can put my dome shelter up. So this is what I got so far. The sun came up over here, so I'm putting the door right here. I'm gonna keep interweaving stuff for now, taking a little break. Once I get it all interweaved, then I can just stack those as needed. All the skunk cabbage leaves that I got going. Yeah, leave the top open like I did for the teepee so I can have a small fire inside, and this will give me a little more room to put my stuff and lay down and maneuver and everything and be able to actually sit up inside. It's going to be kind of nice. This is what I've got on here so far. I got this whole side covered. Pretty much I'm going to do this all the way around it. I'm going to leave the very top open though, and that'll allow for smoke to be able to leave the shelter. Well, this is pretty much it. Got a dome shelter, it's completely covered. I left a hole open for the smoke to be able to escape. That little back corner back there, there's a lot of room for me, so I'll be able to have a nice bed back there, and if I want to sit up, I'll be able to sit up, and because I got all the stuff wind blocked and blocked off, I'll be able to have the fire in there without it smoking me out so bad. I angled the door this way, you can see why. Sun's coming in, and it's still kind of cool out. Not today, but last night it was pretty cold. Just adding kind of like a gutter so it sprays the water if it rains out this way instead of in towards me. So I did some little improvements, as these leaves are fairly light, so if the wind picked up it would have probably blown them off. So I stabbed sticks in that had a natural bend to it, lots of little branches, stabbed them in the ground so it all kind of hugs this whole thing together, and that'll keep it from coming apart, you know, if it rains or wind or anything else. And I closed the top end just a little bit more so it holds in the heat better. Today I went ahead and I've been adding boughs all around the outside of this, and I added a windbreak over here. And the reason I did this is it's adding insulation all the way around. It'll help keep the warmth in. I put this windbreak here. I'll show you that. I added that windbreak on the outside. There, that's a little better view of it. Adding all these boughs, and I added this windbreak right here just because there's a creek off that way and it seems to be kicking up some wind, pushing the smoke to where it ain't wanting to go out the top of the shelter. So now with no wind in here, it'll make sure the smoke goes up. like it is now. It's not much, just a few of these skunk cabbage leaves really, but just something to kind of block that wind a little bit will help keep the warmth in at night. So all I've been doing now, basically all I've done today is reset my traps and been adding a whole bunch of limbs to the outside. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of grass that's out here in the sun that's all nice and dry. I'm going to cut it up and put it underneath me for bedding. And putting something underneath you is always as good as having something on top. So I'm gathering up some of this grass for bedding, and just all I'm doing is making a big pile before I even bring it back. And that's just so I kind of got an idea of what I got to work with for bedding. The thicker your mattress, the more comfortable you'll be, and the warmer you're going to be. When you're making a bough bed, I got all these boughs here. I cut the very, very tips of the trees off, the very tips of the limbs, just like the last 2 feet or so, because that's the softest part. And I take these, I just kind of stab them in. That way they're not poking you in the back throughout the night. And the more you do this, the thicker it'll get, and the thicker it is, the more comfort it'll get, and the more it'll keep you from getting cold from being, the ground will suck the heat right out of you, so you want to get off the ground some, even in places like I'm at right now. It's a long process to make this way, but honestly out here all you have is time. So no better way to spend that time than making yourself more comfortable. This is a bough bed completed. After I get done putting all the boughs, stabbing them in, I take and roll them under, and it cushions it more, and it takes away stuff that's going to poke you in the back. So once that's all done, then pretty good on that. I want to get on the show alone so bad. I've applied for it like probably a good 15-20 times. I sent pictures and videos, and hopefully this will be the one that'll push it over the edge where I can get on season 3 and show you guys some cool stuff. So that's without the door. And that's with the door. And this thing turned out awesome. I am really proud of it. I've never used skunk cabbage leaves to make anything, but the thing's holding up amazing. It's been almost, what, 11 days almost? 10 days, something like that I built this. Still standing strong. Wind's been blowing, it's been raining, it's foggy. Ain't quite as foggy as yesterday though, man. I could barely see 10 feet in front of me, it seemed like. But I woke up last night to thunder and lightning and rain, and it's still raining this morning, but so far inside it's dry, so I'm gonna have to just kind of sneak out between storms to get firewood and check my traps, and then maybe hopefully I can get a decent break in the weather and do some fishing so I can get some food today. Might be a little dark on this one because bright and early in the morning it's still raining and I'm kind of cold, but with this fire it's not too awful bad. Pretty much it's been raining non-stop since freaking Friday the 13th night. Friday the 13th night was freaking thunder and lightning, and then yesterday was rain, and the day before that was rain. You know, today's Monday, it rained all through the weekend, and it's still kind of sprinkling today. It's real misty out, and I tried some fishing, but nothing was biting, so just gonna sit here and relax for a little bit, and then I'll go out and try again after I get dry again.